The quantum sensors aboard the Stellar Observatory Helios picked up the signal on what would have been an ordinary Tuesday morning on Earth. Dr. Naomi Patel had been reviewing the weekly data stream when the anomaly caught her eye. A perfectly structured sequence of prime numbers, repeating with mechanical precision from somewhere in the Carina Nebula. "Director Kavanagh," she called, her voice steadied despite her racing heart. "I think you need to see this." The next 48 hours transformed human history. Humanity had searched for signs of intelligent life for centuries, and now, in 2157, they had their answer. The signal was undeniable, artificial, intelligent, and definitely not human in origin. What followed was not the celebration humanity had imagined. Within days, the signal changed. It became erratic, desperate. Then, through newly developed quantum translation matrices, they decoded its meaning. "They're coming. Run." Commander Isabella Romano stood on the bridge of the ESS Hyperion, Earth's most advanced warship, as reports flooded in from the Proxima Centauri colony. The Vex Collective, as they would come to be known, arrived without warning or mercy. Their ships, massive crystalline structures that seemed to bend both light and space around them, emerged from what appeared to be tears in reality itself. "All hands to battle stations," Romano ordered, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's first interstellar combat engagement. "Activate the particle shields and prepare for emergency quantum jump." The Hyperion's crew, trained for years but never tested in real combat, moved with practiced precision. Lieutenant James Harrison, the ship's tactical officer, reported from his station. "Multiple contacts. Commander. They're not matching any known configurations. Energy readings are off the charts. The first attack came not as weapons fire, but as a wave of energy that seemed to distort the very fabric of spacetime. 3 of the 5 research stations orbiting Proxima Centauri simply ceased to exist, their atomic structure apparently dissolved into component particles." "Get me a secure channel to Earth Command," Romano demanded, watching as the crystalline ships moved with impossible grace through the debris field they'd created. "And someone tell me how they're doing this." Dr. Viktor Petrov, the ship's chief scientist, worked frantically at his station. "Commander, they're using some form of quantum-level manipulation. It's like they're rewriting the laws of physics in localized spaces. Our traditional defenses are useless." The Hyperion shuddered as another energy wave passed nearby. Status reports flooded in from all decks. Structural integrity was holding, but barely. The ship's quantum core, humanity's proudest technological achievement, struggled to maintain power against the reality-warping effects of the alien weapons. "We can't win this fight," Romano realized, her hands gripping the command rail until her knuckles turned white. "Not here. Not now." She took a deep breath, knowing her next decision would echo through history. "Begin emergency evacuation of Proxima Colony. All ships in range are to assist. We'll cover the retreat." The next 3 hours became known as the Stand of the Hyperion. As civilian ships and emergency transports fled the Proxima system, Commander Romano and her crew executed a series of seemingly suicidal maneuvers, using the ship's experimental quantum core to generate temporary safe corridors through the distorted space. "Power at 30%, Harrison reported, his voice tense but professional. "We can't take another direct hit." Romano watched as the last civilian transport jumped to safety. The Vex ships had surrounded them now, their crystalline surfaces pulsing with otherworldly energy. "Send the data package to Earth Command. Everything we've learned about their weapons, their tactics. Everything." "Package away," Petrov confirmed. "But Commander, there's something else. The energy patterns they're using. They're familiar. They match theoretical models from the Mars archives we discovered last year. Whatever these beings are, they've been here before." Romano nodded grimly. "Then humanity needs to know what we're facing." She straightened in her chair, dignity intact, even as warning klaxons blared around her. "All hands, this is the Commander. It has been my highest honor to serve with you. Begin Protocol Omega." Authorization Romano 770. The Hyperion's quantum core began to overload, its energy signature becoming increasingly unstable. The Vex ships, perhaps sensing the danger, began to retreat, but it was too late. For Earth, Romano whispered, and pressed the final command. The Hyperion's destruction created a quantum shockwave that rippled through spacetime itself, destroying 3 Vex capital ships and severely damaging 2 others. More importantly, it provided Earth with its first crucial data about their new enemy's vulnerabilities. The Battle of Proxima Centauri lasted less than 4 hours, but its impact would reshape human civilization. As the survivors reached Earth, carrying with them the Hyperion's final transmission, humanity began to understand that they faced a choice: evolve or perish. In the depths of space, as the quantum echoes of the battle faded, the remaining Vex ships regrouped. Their crystalline surfaces pulsed with new patterns, adapting, learning. The war for humanity's survival had begun, and Earth's first warriors had ensured it would not be an easy victory for their adversaries. 3 months after the Proxima Centauri disaster, Admiral Raj Sharma stood before the holographic display in Earth Defense Command's underground bunker, studying the patterns of Vex ship movements. Each crystalline vessel left behind quantum distortions that Earth's new sensors could track, thanks to data recovered from the Hyperion's sacrifice. "They're not attacking," he muttered, more to himself than to the assembled staff. "They're searching." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of Xenorchaeology, stepped forward with a holographic tablet. Her discovery in the Mars archives had taken on new urgency since the attack. "Admiral, we've completed the translation of the deeper archive layers. The previous civilization that encountered the Vex, they left us a warning." The holographic display shifted, showing ancient symbols that slowly transformed into modern text. "They aren't just conquerors," Yuki explained, her voice tight with concern. "They're harvesters. They seek out civilizations that have achieved quantum technology, then strip them of both their knowledge and their very existence." Lieutenant General Maria Santos, commander of Earth's remaining fleet, cursed under her breath. The Proxima colony, they weren't trying to destroy it. They were scanning it. "Precisely," Yuki confirmed. "And now we know why the Mars archives were abandoned. The previous species deliberately shut down all their quantum technology and went into hiding. They chose regression over extinction." Admiral Sharma's eyes narrowed. "That's not an option for us. Humanity has never hidden from a threat, and we won't start now." He turned to the room's 3rd occupant, who had remained silent until now. Dr. Ibrahim Hassan, Earth's leading quantum physicist, had aged decades in the past 3 months. The bags under his eyes spoke of sleepless nights spent analyzing the Hyperion's final data transmission. "We've made a breakthrough," he announced, bringing up a new holographic model. "The Vex don't just manipulate quantum states, they harvest them. Each attack literally steals the quantum potential from our technology, adding it to their own. Which explains why they've grown stronger with each encounter," Santos realized. "They're not just destroying our outposts, they're absorbing our technological advancement." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's greatest achievement, the mastery of quantum technology, had made them a target. But it was also their only hope for survival. "Show them," Sharma ordered, and Ibrahim nodded grimly. The holographic display shifted again, showing a massive underground facility. "Project Phoenix," Ibrahim explained. "While the Vex have been searching our outer colonies, we've been building something they won't expect. A quantum shield that doesn't just defend, it reflects." The technical specifications scrolled past, but Sharma focused on the practical implications. "How long until it's operational?" 2 weeks, Ibrahim replied. "But there's a catch. We need a massive amount of quantum energy to power it. Energy we don't have." Yuki stepped forward again, her expression grim but determined. "The Mars archives mentioned something else. The previous civilization didn't just leave us warnings, they left us weapons. Quantum cores, hidden in bunkers across the solar system. If we can retrieve them, we'd be painting targets on our backs, Santos interrupted. The moment we activate those cores, the Vex will know exactly where we are. Then we make it count, Sharma decided. His fingers danced across the holographic controls, bringing up a map of the solar system. General Santos, prepare the fleet. Dr. Hassan, you'll need to modify Project Phoenix to incorporate these alien cores. Dr. Tanaka, I need everything you have on those bunker locations. As the others rushed to comply, Sharma studied the quantum distortion patterns again. The Vex were methodical, searching in an expanding pattern from Proxima Centauri. They expected humanity to run, to hide, to follow the pattern of every civilization they'd harvested before. They were about to learn that humanity had other ideas. The next week saw the largest covered operation in human history. Special Forces teams, equipped with quantum-damped ships and experimental stealth technology, deployed to every planet and major moon in the solar system. The Vex, focused on their expanding search pattern, didn't detect the small vessels slipping between their patrol routes. On Mars, Captain Zora Patel led her team into the depths of Olympus Mons, following coordinates extracted from the archives. 600 meters down, she reported through her quantum-encrypted comm. No signs of Vex activity. Similar reports came in from teams on Europa, Titan, and even Mercury's dark side. Each team located their targets. Ancient quantum cores, left behind by a civilization that chose to hide rather than fight. But humanity would use these artifacts for a different purpose. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Private First Class Thomas Reeves, a former quantum engineering student, noticed something while analyzing the core his team recovered from Venus. These aren't just power sources, he reported excitedly. They're linked. They were meant to work together, to create something bigger than the sum of their parts. Ibrahim Hassan's team worked frantically to incorporate this new understanding into Project Phoenix. The ancient cores weren't just power sources, they were pieces of a larger weapon, one that could turn the Vex's quantum harvesting against them. But time was running out. Long-range sensors detected a massive Vex fleet approaching the solar system. This wasn't a search party, it was an invasion force. They must have detected the core activations, Santos reported grimly. We have less than 48 hours before they arrive. Admiral Sharma looked around the command center, at the faces of humanity's best and brightest. They'd worked miracles in 3 months, advancing technology by decades. Now they would find out if it was enough. Send the order, he commanded. Operation Phoenix begins now. Let's show these harvesters what happens when they try to feast on humanity. As the ancient quantum cores were transported to Earth under heavy escort, Sharma couldn't help but wonder if they were about to save humanity or lead it to destruction. Either way, the next 48 hours would change the course of human history, assuming humanity survived to record it. The quantum cores pulsed with ancient power as Dr. Ibrahim Hassan made the final connections. Beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility carved from the living rock, humanity's last, best hope took shape. Project Phoenix's central chamber stretched nearly a kilometer in diameter, its walls lined with crystalline matrices that seemed to drink in the light. Power synchronization at 87%, reported Dr. Karina Wolf, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. The cores are accepting the integration protocols. Around them, the combined quantum signatures of 8 ancient cores created patterns that seemed to bend reality itself. It was beautiful, in a terrifying way, like watching a thunderstorm build on the horizon. 36 hours until Vex arrival, announced the facility's eye. Multiple quantum distortions detected at system's edge. Admiral Sharma stood on the observation deck, watching teams of engineers and scientists rush to complete their work. They'd achieved in days what should have taken years, fueled by desperation and determination. But would it be enough? The first test nearly ended in disaster. When they activated the full array, the quantum feedback almost tore the facility apart. Private Reeves, who had first understood the core's true nature, saved them all with a split-second modification to the containment fields. "The cores aren't fighting each other anymore," he explained, hair still smoking slightly from the electrical discharge. "They're singing." Dr. Hassan understood immediately. They're not just power sources, they're instruments. The ancient civilization built a quantum symphony, and we've been trying to play each note separately. The breakthrough changed everything. Instead of forcing the cores to power their shield, they adapted Project Phoenix to work with the core's natural harmonics. The result was something no one had anticipated. "It's not just a shield," Dr. Wolf breathed, watching the test readings with wide eyes. "It's a lens." 24 hours before the Vex arrival, humanity learned what that meant. In a carefully controlled test, they activated the system at 10% power. The quantum energy didn't just protect the facility, it amplified and redirected human quantum technology, making their own systems exponentially more powerful. "Send word to the fleet," Sharma ordered. "All ships are to be equipped with quantum resonators tuned to Phoenix's frequency." General Santos coordinated the massive operation from orbit, overseeing the modification of every surviving warship. "We'll only get one shot at this," she reminded her crews. "Make it count." The Vex arrived ahead of schedule. Their fleet emerged from quantum space like a tide of crystalline death, thousands of ships strong. But this time, Earth was ready. "Phoenix Control, this is Admiral Sharma. Execute primary sequence." Deep beneath the mountains, 8 ancient cores began to sing. The quantum symphony built slowly at first, then with increasing power. Energy cascaded through the crystalline matrices, forming patterns that even the facility's most advanced sensors struggled to track. In orbit, the human fleet waited. Each ship now carried a quantum resonator, specially tuned to work with Project Phoenix. They were the instruments waiting for the conductor's signal. The Vex struck first, launching their reality-distorting weapons. But this time, something different happened. As the quantum disruption waves approached Earth, they encountered Phoenix's energy field. Instead of destroying what they touched, the waves were caught, redirected, amplified, and thrown back. The effect was devastating. Dozens of Vex ships simply ceased to exist, their own weapons turned against them. Others spun out of control, their quantum systems disrupted by the reflected energy. "It's working," Dr. Wolf shouted, her professional demeanor cracking with excitement. "The field is stable at 60% power." But the Vex were not so easily defeated. Their ships began to adapt, changing their attack patterns and frequencies. Some managed to slip through gaps in the quantum field, targeting Earth's defensive platforms. "They're learning," Hassan warned. "We need to change the resonance pattern." Private Reeves, now officially assigned to the Phoenix control team, suggested a radical solution. "What if we don't fight their adaptations? What if we match them instead?" The idea was insane, deliberately synchronizing with an enemy trying to destroy them. But in the chaos of battle, it made a terrible kind of sense. Like in martial arts, Karina realized, use their own strength against them. The modification took precious minutes to implement, during which 3 orbital platforms were destroyed. But when they activated the new protocol, the effect was immediate and spectacular. Phoenix's quantum field began to pulse in perfect counter-rhythm to the Vex attacks. Each enemy strike strengthened Earth's defenses, while each reflected blast carried the combined power of both technologies. In orbit, General Santos seized the advantage. "All ships, execute attack pattern Omega. Target their command vessels." Earth's fleet moved as one, their quantum resonators now acting as amplifiers for their conventional weapons. Particle beams and plasma torpedoes, enhanced by Phoenix's field, tore through Vex shields that had previously been impenetrable. For the first time since the conflict began, humanity had the upper hand. But victory still hung by a thread. Core integrity failing, the AI warned. Estimated 17 minutes until catastrophic overload. Admiral Sharma looked at his team. They'd known this might happen. The ancient cores were never designed to channel this much power. Now they had to decide, risk everything on one final strike, or power down and lose their advantage. Dr. Hassan, Sharma said quietly, initialize the Hyperion Protocol. Hassan's eyes widened. They'd named the procedure after Commander Romano's final gambit, and for good reason. It would use Phoenix's quantum field to link every human ship in orbit, creating one massive weapon. It might destroy the Vex fleet. It would definitely destroy their own. As the order went out, General Santo's voice came through clear and determined. For Earth. The quantum symphony reached its crescendo. The quantum symphony's final note reverberated through space-time itself. When the blinding light faded, nearly half the Vex fleet had been reduced to quantum particles scattered across the solar system. But the cost was staggering. Earth's orbital defense grid was gone, along with 70% of their fleet. In the Phoenix facility, warning klaxons screamed as ancient cores went dark one by one. Dr. Hassan worked frantically to contain the cascading failures, his hands flying over the controls. Core 8 is critical, Dr. Wolf shouted over the chaos. Quantum cascade imminent. Private Reeves rushed to the core housing, carrying a portable containment unit. The frequency's still stable, he called back. It's not failing. It's changing. He was right. The remaining cores weren't dying. They were transforming. The quantum energies released in the battle had awakened something within them, something their original creators had encoded millennia ago. From the dying light of Core 8 emerged a hologram, not of symbols or warnings, but of beings. They were tall, ethereal creatures with crystalline structures growing from their bodies. But unlike the Vex, these crystals pulsed with warm, organic light. We are the Luminary, the hologram announced in perfectly translated Earth standard. And you have proven worthy of the legacy we left behind. Admiral Sharma stepped forward, his uniform still smoking slightly from electrical discharge. You're the civilization that built these cores, the ones who chose to hide. We did not hide. The Luminary corrected. We seeded. Across 1,000 galaxies, we left the tools that growing civilizations would need to face the Vex. You are the first to use them as they were truly meant to be used, not in fear, but in defiance. The revelation stunned the assembled humans. What they had thought was a desperate last stand had actually been a test, generations in the making. But there was no time to process this information. Long-range sensors detected the remaining Vex fleet regrouping. They had been bloody but not beaten, and their crystalline ships were already adapting to the quantum assault. They're calling for reinforcements, General Santos reported from her flagship, one of the few surviving vessels. Massive quantum distortions detected at the edge of the system. The Luminary hologram nodded gravely. The Vex are a cancer in reality itself, spreading across universes, consuming all quantum potential they encounter. We fought them for millennia before understanding that no single civilization could defeat them alone. Dr. Hassan's eyes widened as he studied the transformed cores. The quantum symphony. It wasn't just a weapon, was it? It was a key. A key, the Luminary confirmed, to unlock the doors between all those who fight the Vex. You are not alone in this war, children of Earth. Look. Space itself seemed to twist as new ships emerged from quantum space, but these were unlike anything humanity had seen before. Some were organic, pulsing with biologically generated quantum fields. Others seemed to be made of pure energy, barely contained in physical form. All of them bore weapons that crackled with familiar quantum harmonics. The collective of light, the Luminary explained. All species who have passed the trial, who chose to fight rather than hide. We have watched you, waited to see if you would unlock the true power of the cores. Now, at last, you can take your place among us. From his command post, Admiral Sharma watched as ships of a dozen different designs moved to protect Earth. Each represented a civilization that had faced the same test, made the same choice to stand and fight. But the Vex reinforcements were arriving too. Hundreds, then thousands of crystalline ships emerged from quantum space, their forms more twisted and alien than before. These weren't just harvesters. This was an extinction fleet. "Admiral," the luminary hologram addressed Sharma directly, "your species has earned its place in the collective. But now you must make a choice. Will you stand with us, knowing that victory is not guaranteed? Knowing that even if we win, your world will never be the same?" Sharma looked at his team, at Hassan's determined expression, at Wolf's fierce grin, at Reeves' quiet confidence. He thought of Commander Romano and the crew of the Hyperion, who faced impossible odds without hesitation. "Humanity doesn't run from a fight," he declared, "especially not one this important. What do you need us to do?" The luminary's crystalline features shifted in what might have been a smile. "The chords you awakened have transformed into something new. They can now link with the quantum networks of all collective species, allowing us to coordinate in ways the Vex cannot predict. But to do this, we need humans to help pilot the merged consciousness. Your adaptability, your creativity. These are weapons the Vex have never faced." Dr. Hassan stepped forward. "The quantum resonance patterns we developed, they could be adapted to serve as a translation matrix between different species technologies. And our fleet's resonators," Santos added, "they're already tuned to work with multiple quantum frequencies. We could serve as bridges between different collective ships." The plan came together quickly. Humanity would be the keystone in the largest coordinated quantum assault ever attempted. Their ships, their technology, and their minds would help bind the collective's diverse forces into a single devastating weapon. But as the combined fleet prepared for battle, Dr. Wolf made a disturbing discovery. "The Vex ships," she reported, "they're not just gathering. They're merging, combining into something bigger." On the long-range sensors, the crystalline ships were indeed flowing together like liquid metal, forming the structure that defied comprehension. A quantum singularity was taking shape, one that threatened to consume not just Earth, but the entire solar system. The final battle for humanity's survival was about to begin. But this time, they wouldn't fight alone. The Vex singularity grew until it rivaled the Sun in size, its crystalline surface reflecting distorted images of reality itself. Within the Phoenix facility, now transformed into a quantum command center for the collective, Dr. Hassan watched the readings with growing horror. "They're not just combining their ships," he announced. "They're combining every reality where they exist, drawing power from infinite versions of themselves." The luminary coordinator, whose holographic form now stood permanently at Admiral Sharma's side, nodded gravely. "This is their final protocol. When faced with sufficient resistance, they collapse all potential realities into one where they are victorious." "Not this reality," Sharma declared. "Not this time." He turned to the quantum control matrix, where hundreds of human operators now sat linked to collective ships through modified resonators. "Begin the synchronized assault. All units, execute Operation Unity." The battle that followed would be remembered across 1,000 worlds. The collective fleet, guided by human consciousness, moved with impossible coordination. Ships of crystal, energy, and organic matter flowed together in patterns that matched the quantum symphony still playing through the transformed cores. Private Reeves, now operating as a primary consciousness bridge, led a wing of bioorganic vessels from the Merida civilization. Their ships, grown from living quantum crystals, phased between realities to strike at the Vex singularity's weak points. "The structure is adaptive," he reported, his voice distant as his mind merged with his alien crew. "But it can only adapt to one attack pattern at a time, if we hit it with everything simultaneously." Dr. Wolf, coordinating from Phoenix Control, understood immediately. "All units prepare for simultaneous strike. Loading attack patterns now." General Santos, her consciousness spread across 30 different ship types, felt the plan form across the collective quantum network. Every species had its own way of fighting, its own approach to quantum manipulation. Apart, they were formidable. Together, Coordinated by human minds trained to think in multiple paradigms at once, they became something unprecedented. The Vex singularity struck first. Reality itself seemed to crack as it launched attacks through multiple dimensions simultaneously. But humanity's quantum symphony, now played across an orchestra of civilizations, caught each attack and turned it. Now, Sharma commanded. Every ship in the collective fleet fired at once. Energy beams, quantum torpedoes, reality-warping missiles, and weapons that defied human understanding all struck the singularity at precisely the same moment. The attack came from every possible angle, using every known form of quantum manipulation. The singularity's surface began to crack, light pouring from the fissures, but victory was not yet assured. "It's trying to stabilize," Hassan warned, "drawing power from somewhere else, something beyond our universe." The luminary coordinators' form flickered with concern. They called to their masters, the ones who created them, who set them loose upon reality itself. Through the quantum network, through the minds of 1,000 human operators linked to alien crews, came a feeling of ancient cosmic dread. The Vex weren't just harvesters. They were probes, sent by something far older and more terrible to prepare reality for its arrival. "Like hell," Dr. Wolf snarled, her hands flying across the quantum controls. "Private Reeves, do you still have that harmony pattern from the core's activation?" "Uploading now," Reeves confirmed. His consciousness, spread across the fleet, began to resonate with a familiar frequency. The quantum symphony that had once protected Earth now played across the battlefield, amplified by the combined power of the collective. But this time, it carried something new. The defiance of humanity, the determination that had driven them to fight when others would have hidden. "All units," Sharma commanded, his voice carrying across the quantum network, "pour everything you have into the symphony. Show them why we fight." The music of reality itself rose to a crescendo. Every ship, every weapon, every mind in the collective added its voice to the harmony. The quantum resonance built upon itself, growing stronger with each passing second. The Vex singularity began to collapse, its connection to its masters, severed by the pure force of combined will expressed through quantum harmonics. As it fell in upon itself, Dr. Hassan made one final desperate modification to the symphony. "We can use its own collapse," he shouted. "Direct it elsewhere." Understanding flowed through the quantum network. Every human operator, every alien ally, adjusted their resonance patterns. The collapsing singularity became a weapon aimed at the very beings that had created the Vex. Reality trembled. Space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a flash that temporarily blinded every sensor in the solar system, the singularity imploded. The quantum backlash traveled along the Vex's connection to their masters, carrying with it the combined defiance of every species in the collective. When vision returned, the Vex were gone. Not just defeated, erased. The quantum readings showed no trace of their unique signature anywhere in known space. In the Phoenix facility, humans and aliens alike stood in stunned silence. They had done more than win a battle. They had changed the fundamental nature of reality itself. The luminary coordinator's hologram glowed with pride. And so it ends, and begins. The age of isolation is over. The age of unity dawns. Admiral Sharma looked out at the assembled beings, human and alien, organic and energy, all brought together by the need to fight an impossible enemy. "No," he said quietly. "This isn't an ending. This is just our first step together." Above Earth, ships of 1,000 designs hung in formation, their quantum signatures harmonizing in a symphony of victory. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just alive, but transformed. They had proven themselves not just warriors, but unifiers, bridge builders, the species that could bring together the cosmos itself in defense of all reality. The war was over. The real adventure was about to begin. In the depths of space, the quantum cores pulsed with new light, singing a song of triumph that would echo across eternity. Humanity had done more than survive. They had shown the universe itself a new way to exist. Together, united, strong. The void was no longer empty. It was filled with possibility.